Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Erica Schmerica Reality Recaps. Today we're going to be talking about 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 4, Episode 5. Can't wait to talk about it. Let's get started. First up today we had Jenny and Smith, choose your own adventure. Anyway, so this week, the newest obstacle is the fact that Jenny is not invited to any of Samit's family affairs. His family doesn't want Jenny to really come to anything, and they're kind of pretending that she doesn't exist at this point. This, however, now really bothered Jenny because Samit's brother and his wife Shri are preparing to have their very first baby, the first grandchild for the family Samit. So of course, Jenny's not invited to the temple to go do prayers and like whatever special rituals they do for a pregnant woman. So while Samit left her at home, cleaning the house or whatever it is that Jenny does for fun, probably trying to be a Hare Krishna, not really sure, Samit went ahead and went over to meet up with his family and, of course, ruined everybody's mood by bringing up Jenny. So while he was sitting with his family, he mentioned that he and Jenny are actually engaged and that he would really appreciate if she would be his +1 to the family invites. But, however, Mother Samit ran away at the topic of the conversation. She had a tantrum and she took off while Father Samit tried to sit there stone-faced, trying to make the best of it. And Samit's brother actually, told him that he didn't want any of this Jenny negativity to rub off on the unborn baby. So it looks like they haven't made any progress. If anything, maybe a couple steps backwards. And it doesn't look like Jenny's going to be heading over to have a celebratory samosa anytime soon. Then there were Stephen and Alina who were hitchhiking over to the immigration lawyer's office to find out all the steps they needed to take to be Mr. and Mrs. Skiddlypoop. Anyway, Alina's mother last episode was really worried that Alina was going to be in danger if Stephen didn't stay with her in the same apartment because she was worried that her daughter, could be in harm's way. And here's Stephen protecting her by encouraging her to hitchhike, which sounds like a great idea. Every movie I've ever seen about hitchhiking ends up with the person, meeting up with somebody who likes to wear other people's faces as part of their daily routine. And I'm not talking about Darcy or Stacy. Anyway, they meet up with the lawyer and the lawyer goes ahead and gives them all of this information. You could almost see like the little monkeys inside of Stephen's head, like jumping around in circles, not able to process anything this man is saying. And, it seems like it's going to be a lot more work than the two of them thought to get married in a foreign country for both of them. So, gave them too much to think about. They took a long walk and then they were hitchhiking home. Alina was like, well, the lawyer said we should get married. The sooner the better. We can get a move on with this. But meanwhile, Stephen started to have cold feet. He pulled a big Mike. He's all of a sudden like, whoa, I don't know if I could do this. I was thinking maybe day 50, which honestly, if this is your end goal, why not? The sooner the better. This week, Ellie and Victor were taking the boat ride over from San Andreas over to the island of Providencia. It is the Andre of islands, really. This season's Andre is Providencia. They took the 4-hour boat ride over and were devastated when they got to the shore and saw the once bright green luscious island now was just like a pile of debris. Everything had pretty much been demolished on the island. Ellie couldn't even believe all of the destruction. And Victor went ahead and borrowed a car from his friend so that they could go drive over to his sister's house to drop off supplies for his family. So Ellie's taking pictures out the car window. She couldn't believe all the damage that was done. Victor's sister, her house was completely leveled and they were living with their other sister currently because they didn't know where to go. Somehow, miraculously, Ellie and Victor's house was still standing. And I think it was one of those 3 little pigs, house made of sticks, house made of wood, house made of cement kind of situations where it didn't get blown down. So anyway, their house was still standing, but Ellie was assessing whether or not now is the time to really move to Providencia. But in all seriousness, oh my God, these poor people. I felt so bad. Almost couldn't even make a joke about it. And really, I felt so bad for the animals on the island too, seeing all these dogs walk around, these stray animals. I hope everything's okay and that, since last November, hopefully they've had some kind of recovery effort. And Ellie should probably just go home and eat pizza. This week, Team Carmondo were still in San Felipe and they were visiting Armando's family. First, Armando took his mother out to like a little outdoor yard tchotchke shopping area to go look at the fun yard ornaments and discuss his upcoming marriage to Kenny. So his mother was just crying and crying. She seems to be accepting of him and but she's still crying, so we're not really sure. I guess it's really hard for her to come around. She's very traditional and she's worried about what Armando's father, Armando Sr., will think. But tells her son that he's going to have to go talk to him himself. Unlike her last, little sit down with Armando, she was saying that she would be the one to tell his father about the wedding. So later on, they went ahead and met up with Father Armando in his little workshop, and Armando just told him about the whole last year of his life. They caught up and he told him, he and Kenny were in fact planning a wedding and it would really mean a lot for him to, RSVP yes. So in the meantime, it seemed that Father Armando actually was like pretty understanding, pretty accepting, maybe in his own way, but I thought he was really coming around. Hopefully he won't have any of those little like, oh, he's at the store, or oh, he's watching his novella, or any of the excuses that Mother Armando has made for him in previous episodes. And hopefully he will be able to attend the wedding of the century, the Carmondo wedding. In the meantime, they only showed truffles for like 1 minute. I would really like more truffles. Thanks. Then we had Corey and Evelyn, Evil One, who were on their way to tell Evelyn's family about their secret wedding 1 year ago. So Evelyn's tween evil sisters were like really smirking it up and like happy to watch Evelyn explain this bad news to their family. So they were all in the kitchen with many sharp objects around when Evelyn just dropped the bomb that she and Corey were in fact already married and had been for an entire year in secret. Her mother was shocked, felt a little hurt that her daughter didn't share this information, but also questioned why her daughter didn't share this information, because if you got married and you were so excited and so in love and so happy, why wouldn't you tell anybody? So she questioned Evelyn, asking her if she was really happy, which Evelyn, being the blunt person that she is, she just said, meh, not so much. Corey just stood there with the goofy look on his face like, what do you mean? Well, it's crazy. And you know what? They kind of just left it at that. Meanwhile, later on, Corey was surfing with his friend Raul, who you may remember from previous seasons as Evelyn's former lover and also Corey's best friend in Ecuador. So anyway, however that works, the two of them were surfing, and I guess Corey had confided in Raul in the past about his little Peruvian fling with Jenny, not the Hare Krishna Jenny, the Peruvian Jenny, and had just made it sound like a fling while he and Evelyn were broken up. Well, now he actually came out and told Raul that he and Evelyn were in fact married and that Evelyn had kicked him out. He went to Peru to like find himself and he found Jenny instead. And that, what sounded like a little fling was actually pretty serious because the two of them had actually planned to move in together. He was going back to Ecuador to collect his things. He was going to move back to Peru. And, Evelyn kind of gave him a second chance. So he kind of ghosted Peruvian Jenny, which he told to Raul, and he never told this to Evelyn. So Raul, being the good friend that he is, gave Corey an ultimatum. Couldn't believe that goody two-shoes Corey had like pulled this move. But he said, if you're not going to tell Evelyn, I am. So it looks like next week, Corey's going to have to, tell Evil One about his little fling, which was a much bigger than a little fling. And I'm curious if we're going to see Peruvian Jenny come into play. Curious as to what's going to happen. Lastly, there were Ariella and Binyam, who this week were traveling through the Ethiopian countryside to head out to see this holy water and experience a holy shower. So of course they couldn't, schlep the baby through the countryside without their $200 a month live-in nanny, Mimi, who came along schlepping baby Avi all the while, both ways, on her back. This woman deserves a raise, I'm just saying. So anyway, they got to the holy shower, which Biniam failed to mention that they needed to separate to a men's section and a women's section. So he was explaining all the properties of this holy water, how it had like healed his family member before and how he really believes in it. It's life-changing. So Ariella went in the women's side with Mimi and baby Avi, and she went under this like pipe coming out of, a rock, and it was sprinkling the freezing cold holy water on her. All while some older woman who was completely nude and a stranger kind of like helped her out, which kind of made me think of like going to Loman's to the old fitting room with my mom. Speaking of seeing like older women naked from different angles. Anyway, if you know about that, you know. So after the holy water thing, they hugged it out and felt like their relationship was really in a good place, and that doing this really proved Ariella's commitment to their relationship. And she wasn't going to just turn around and move home to the US to have a warm shower with Leandro, her ex-husband. So next week, the previews look a little bit scandalous, as it looks like Ariella may be missing Leandro more than she had thought. She's crying in these episodes, and she's got her Dayglow nails on, so she means business. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Erica Schmerica Reality Recaps. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and go ahead and hit that notification button to get notified about all new videos I'll be posting. Bye, guys!